Okay, because the European Championships are on, it's time for another football game. Here we go, Emlyn Hughes International Soccer. There's a button on the bottom right hand corner. If you want to subscribe, please do. And if you like the video, then please give it a thumbs up. Emlyn Hughes International Soccer, sponsored by or endorsed by Emlyn Hughes, former Liverpool, England defender, and also Questioner Sport host, if you remember that. Sadly, Emlyn's no longer with us. He died in 2004. But this is one of the two best football games on the spectrum, the other one being Match Day 2, which I've covered in the Game of Three Halves video, which I'll link in the description box below. Now, first, we've got the setup screen. It goes a little bit slowly here because at the time I was recording the video, I was actually drinking a cup of coffee, holding the cup in one hand, and multitasking is not my best point, so you'll see this menu selection screen is a bit clunky. Now, differences between this and Match Day 2 are that there's a lot more optimization available to you here, as you can see through the menus, etc. Now, if you're playing this game, you want to select the duration. You've got to keep the fire button held down before you go left and right. So you'll see I've just coming down to select 8 minutes. And you also want to select that you don't want to watch computer games, otherwise you'll be there all games where the computer's playing the computer, otherwise you'll be there all bleeding day. Now, the kick directions is important because you can kick in up to 5 different directions, and if you want the best amount of control in the game, it's best to select it up to 5. Now, you can also do an awful lot more things in this game than you could in Match Day. Players had fitness levels, etc. You could edit the teams, the players, and you could also, the same options you had in Match Day, cups, seasons, or friendlies, etc. So I'm just going to play a quick cup match. Now, you've got to make sure that you come up here and click in there and change that, because otherwise you won't be able to play the game. So you need to take it away from being controlled by the computer. That's how you do it. It took me ages back in the day to figure that out. So we're going to be England, and we're going to go into a cup in just a second, and we're going to play the game. So the spectrum is awash with football games, and you can see I've drawn England v Scotland. It's I did some research on Wikipedia about this, because we all remember the Euro '96 England-Scotland game, Gazza's fantastic goal, sort of 30 seconds after saving a McAllister penalty. Well, that game took place on the 15th of June 1996, and today is the 11th or 12th of June 2016. So, that was totally random. It just threw that up. I didn't sort of plan that. So it's a 20-year recreation of the game. Now, my view has always been that I enjoyed Match Day 2 more, because Emlyn Hughes International Snocker? What's Snocker? Emlyn Hughes International Soccer has an awful lot more nuances of control, but because of that, it's a little bit trickier. To get a lofted ball, you have to, when you're running along, you have to sort of you press your fire button, and then you press the opposite direction to the way you're facing, and that's the way that you get the ball up in the air. Otherwise, if you just keep hammering the fire button, it will just go along the ground. Now, differences, what this has over Match Day 2 is you can do slide tackles, which is amazing. You can also do, there are free kicks available and penalties, but you won't see any examples of them in this game. It was a good, clean game, despite it being an England versus Scotland game. It's very, very well animated. The sound is sparse, much sparser than the Spectrum version. Well, on the 48K anyway. I don't know if there's music on the 128K version. I just sort of plugged this in and got on with it. It's by Audiogenic from 1990, and there is also an Emlyn Hughes arcade quiz as well, which I suppose now I've mentioned it, I should cover at some point as well, just to see, what that's like. We are at the start of the European Championships after all, so why not just do a few more football games? Now, it's actually quite tricky to control, and that trickiness, until you've sort of got used to it, it can be quite off-putting. It is, once you've gotten used to it, really, really, really good fun. I still going to go out on a limb here. I still feel that Match Day 2 is the game that I enjoyed the most out of the two, because it's a lot easier to get into. But this does play equally a good game of football once you've got used to it. But it's still a little bit tricky for me. But still really, really good. Now, people are either in two camps about what's the best football game on the spectrum, Match Day 2 or Emlyn Hughes. I fall in the Match Day 2 camp, but I can appreciate that this is a great, great game. So let's just let it play on for a little bit. Plays at a really good speed as well. Some football games are quite slow. Some football games on the spectrum are unplayable almost. Kickoff suffers from that. The football part in Roy of the Rovers is goddamn fucking awful. Peter Beard says international football. That is just abysmal. You get a bit of goalmouth action going on, etc. So it's good to see that there are two really, really, really good games. Otherwise, I've still got to cover Super Soccer from Imagine, and I've got to cover Adidas Championship Football from Ocean, which are both games I don't know. Well, I know of them, but I've never played them. So we're just going to half-time, time for the oranges, the magic sponge, and inspirational talk. Hairdryer treatment probably going on in there. Probably. Talking bollocks again as usual, but never mind. So if you've never played this game, check it out. It is really, really difficult to get the hang of, I think. Whoa! Rosed. But it is worth it. It's worth putting the effort into it. For me, Match Day 2, because of its sort of pick up and play ability, there's not an awful lot you have to learn in it, apart from, remembering when the power meter's showing that you're going to back heel the ball when you're in front, when you've got an open goal, etc. So this is a lot more realistic. There's a lot more depth to it, but I still prefer Match Day 2. Why don't you tell me what you think of the two games? Are you a Hughesy or are you a Match Day fan? Now I'm trying to pile on a bit of pressure. I haven't had a shot to speak of as such, but then I know what's coming up, so. Oh, dispossessed the fullback. And he's back heeled it. That's a bit showy offy. He's through. He's going to finish it. Go! Oh, excuse me. Stupid of me. At my age. It's really, really satisfying when you score a goal in this game. Because I'm not the world's best game player. And I'm certainly not the world's best football game player. But back in the day when I sort of had this, I went days without ever scoring a goal. And the first time I ever scored a goal on it, it was accidental, and B, it was such a feeling of euphoria. So it was realistic in that respect, I suppose. So you do get a greater degree of control of your passes and shots, etc., than you do in any of the matchday games. Oh, and what's going on here? Oh dear, keeper's having a mare. Here we go. Oh, are we through? Yes, we got another one. I don't know why I'm sounding so excited. I knew I scored that goal because I recorded this about an hour ago. But like I say, art mimics real life. 2-0 to England. And Scotland were the home team in Euro 96 as well for that match, even though it was played at Wembley. Folks, as ever, I'm indebted to your continued support and appreciation of the things I do. I know these videos are, I only use Windows Movie Maker. I'm not technically savvy enough to use anything else to create these videos. Thanks ever so much for the continued likes and comments, etc. It makes it all really, really worthwhile. I enjoy doing these. I hope you enjoy watching them. Thanks ever so much. I hope the rest of your weekend is great. Here in Essex, it's a bit grey actually. But thanks ever so much for watching. Take care of yourselves and goodbye.